Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, traders. Steve here at Logic FX Trading, and welcome to Daily FX Analysis. Just quickly look at economic calendar for today. We've got inflation rate in Mexico forecast at 5.99. I don't trade the Mexican peso, but and if you do, keep an eye on that. And then Euro area of ECB monetary policy meeting accounts. We'll see what comes out of that. At the moment, we're still hedging that the dollar is going to continue to be the dominant of the two currencies until the ECB comes out and starts to taper or even talk about it. And then you'll maybe get more of a balanced view, and maybe you'll see the dollar starting to turn and drop. But until then, it's still upside to the dollar. Quick look at yesterday, just while we're talking about the dollar. If we go down in importance, we have United States ADP employment change, forecast 428, actual 568. This is often, it's not as reliable as the non-farm payrolls, guys, but it's often an indicator of where non-farm payrolls, which will be out tomorrow, are going to be. Forecast 500,000 may well be higher than that, guys, which will be good for the dollar. So I'm going to continue to call the dollar long, obviously within a structure. So we have to keep an eye on the structure for where we get in and decide to get out. But we'll look at that in a moment. Also tomorrow, employment and non-employment in Canada. And obviously also the unemployment rate in the United States, which has come down dramatically from the height of the pandemic. I remember they were struggling to get it below 10% at one stage. But this has been the main driver for the Fed. So we need to also keep this in mind for down the line, because once numbers start to get down to normal levels of employment for the economy at the time, or the conditions rather than the economy, you know, they'll always be wanting to keep unemployment down, guys. But considering where we are in this 2-year nightmare that we've all been through, these are pretty good numbers, folks. So this is the reason that you're starting to see movement from the Fed so far as tapering is concerned, and may well see sooner rather than later the Fed starting to push interest rates back up again, guys. Okay, so all that said, let's get over to the charts. With all the risk off that we've seen over the last few months, guys, that's another thing that will be pushing the dollar up. You know, people moving into cash, moving to safety, taking some money off the table. But you would normally you would see a bit of movement long in the yen and the Swiss franc at the same time. Now, so far I haven't. It hasn't been happening where the yen's concerned, because obviously there's other factors involved in the value of a currency. My call here on the yen, which is short, and of course, when things happen, we can change our mind. That's okay. It's okay to be wrong, folks. So at some point, if something happens and we go, okay, that didn't happen, it's starting to go on for this reason or that reason, then obviously we change our analysis. But for now, I'm going to continue to look at this short, and it's mainly structural, guys. We've had that impulse down. We've had what seems to be a running flat. Then we've had a breakout of it. When we were in here, I was looking for a breakout continually, but it takes a while. And sometimes what happens, you take your eye off the ball and then you miss it. So when it's dropped, it's pulled back. And now I'm trying to trade this short, guys. And hopefully it'll pull on down. Do you want a target for it? Well, potentially. Let's take it from there, guys. Let's not get too greedy. Potentially it could come down into that sort of area. But there's many a slip between the cup and the lip. So, we're tentatively trading these things, guys. Once you get it away from zero, get your stop losses on. And then it's about a little bit of luck that it doesn't come back up and stop you out. But the main thing about trading, guys, don't lose your capital. That's the most important thing, because then you're still at the game. Okay, so I'm going to continue to call that short with the little note in the back of my head. Now, today seems to be a risk-on day, particularly in Europe. And what's happened in Europe, risk-on for the stock markets, which obviously affect the currency markets as well, guys. But what's happened in Europe is gas prices went through the roof this last couple of weeks. Scary prices, you know, and 2, 3, 4 times what they were in the summer, guys. But yesterday, Putin from Russia turned around and said, not a problem, we've plenty of gas, we'll supply it to you. Now, obviously, there'll be, he'll want something political in return for it. But just the mere fact that he's offered, and that the EU and the UK are over the barrel with the prices of fuel, they'll have to secede to his will. Probably something to do with lifting sanctions on due to Crimea, whatever it may be. They'll probably have to give, guys, or else they've got 500 million people paying ridiculous gas prices, and they're not going to stay in government very long if they don't do something about that. So that's made a risk on in Europe. Now, whether we get a response also in the United States, don't know at the minute. It was a little bit risk on yesterday after, well, you know, I don't want to count it in days. It's the last 2-3 months haven't been good for stock markets, guys. But we did predict it earlier in the year, and we said, listen, this fantastic run up will come to an end, and then we'll get a correction, and then from there maybe it all runs flat. But obviously within a flat there are periods of you know, moving up where you can make your profit, and then you gotta take money off the table on the way back down. If you're trading, if you're investing, forget about it. In 2-3 years' time, prices will be back up past wherever you invested. Okay, DXY. This is our dollar index. Let's bring it down to, and this is our trend at the minute. Bring it back down to 1 hour. Okay. Earlier in the trend, we got to there, and I said that this could well drop to there before it went. It's given us a zigzag up there, guys. I would not be. Listen, I'm still expecting this to go long. There's your trend, guys. Could this drop to there, giving us this bigger zigzag before it goes? That would be interesting, guys. So if you see the dollar dropping over the next week or so, it's building up for that. Don't be thinking it's going short as and down there. That's not happening in the short term, guys. That doesn't mean that it can't go long from where it is now. I was just looking at that with the eye to, from here, we did say it could come up, maybe break that top, then give us a correction, then that would be the place to get in. Yet again, just looking for that structure, guys. These things always move in a sawtooth, you know, one shape or other. Look at it, it's a sawtooth, guys. So it comes up, it drops, it goes up, it drops, it goes up, it drops, it goes up, it drops, guys. So it goes up, it drops. So it's one, if you've got the trend right, then it's relatively easy to see what's going to happen next, guys. Maybe it drops today and then it goes. So if you're in anything long in the dollar today, don't panic. It may drop for a few days, but the next move will be long, guys. Pretty sure of that. And of course, you should have your stop losses in place just in case we're wrong. It's easy. Okay, Euro USD. And this will do the opposite, guys. Let me move that, guys. I'm forever accidentally hitting that and then losing you. Yet again, the other day we were looking for a bit of a zigzag there and then a drop. Didn't get it. We're getting a little pullback now. The next move will be short, guys, but we could well see a pullback first. You could even see a little running flat in there, guys, before it goes. But the direction's short. So, you know, adapt your trading strategy, or if it's already adapted, use it in such a way that you can ride through the drawdown in order to get the next move. Pound US pushing back at the minute, guys. The next move's there. Aussie I think the next move's short in that as well, guys, with the dollar. But listen, it could end up running flat, so it comes down. There's your target potentially. I don't stay in them that long, guys. New Zealand, same thing. We had a little boost or a little drop on the New Zealand the other day after they increased their interest rates. Top and then it dropped. So I'm not as sure with this one. It could come down to there, guys, but it could also end up a bit like the Aussie running flat. Cad, I suspect the Cad will run flat, guys, because there's strength in both of them. So I'm not going to try and trade that. This is very, very similar to the XY index, guys, in that you can see the structure is very similar. Let's clean it up a little bit. There we go. So we were looking for a breakout. We got a breakout. It's pulled back, which is what we said it would do. It's not rocket science, guys. What makes trading difficult for people is they get greedy and they want to make too much money with one trade, guys. Make a small amount of money with a trade and then look for another one. Okay, so this could drop back down a little bit before going long. It's going to go long, guys. US Yen, I think it's still going to go long, folks. US Swiss, I think that will go long. Gold, interestingly, it's stuck in there. We had that move up. It stayed there. As I said yesterday, guys, or have been saying recently, gold's a little bit more difficult to predict at the moment because we're not sure what effect Bitcoin is having on the the people who would normally go to gold as a safe haven. Obviously with today maybe being a little bit risk on, then it's not going to go long today. But the next time we see a drawdown in the the S&P, you could well see this moving up. I'm invested in it. I've been invested in it quite a while. Got into it as a safe haven, guys, and it hasn't really responded the way I was looking for it to do. Having said that, I made good money up through there. And then when we got this pullback, I thought, okay, this is going to go to there, and we've ended up in this. So for that length of time, which is a few months, guys, gold has been a bit of a letdown. There could be more downside to it. That's only 23% fib there, guys, from the big move up. So it hasn't really come off that much from where it was. So, there could well be more downside to it before it becomes attractive again, guys. So I'm just going to have to hold on to what I got rid of some. I got rid of a few gold miners. But if it drops any further, I may well buy back into them again. Silver, same story, guys. The only thing with silver is it's come down to this level, which is, I don't think it's 61. It's certainly not. Not sure what we were measuring there, guys. Can't remember. I'll just take it off. But if we fib that, top to bottom, it's almost 50%. There could well be a bit more downside, but I'm just, excuse me, folks. Okay, sorry guys, that was eToro phoning me there. XAG, yeah, silver, right. So the point I was making with silver is from a structural point of view, it's come into this area. Do you know what this possibly could be? If this is a flat correction, and that's an A, B, and this is a C, it could well break that, guys, before it starts to come long. That's on a daily time scale. So let's just keep an eye on that. I'm in silver at the moment. I'm hoping that isn't the case, that it pushes on down. I'm hoping that it halts there and then just runs flat rather than that ABC idea that I just had there. So hopefully there'll be a bit of upside to here. Would I invest here if I wasn't already in it? Not sure. There's a lot of other things out there to trade, guys. Bitcoin, well, there you go. It's broken through. Let's take it out to the, say, the daily. Oops, what's going on here? Yeah, that's the correction there, guys. We were looking for more downside, not because we thought it was definitely going to get down there, but if it did get down there, then that would be a really good place to buy. And I don't particularly want to invest in Bitcoin at these sorts of levels, guys. The reason being is that, you know, they can drop really quickly, and the next thing you know, you're deep in the red with it, and then you're waiting months for it to come back up. So the place to get involved in Bitcoin, possibly down 3 years somewhere, guys. For me. Where's it going? Well, I do believe that it will go through this at some point. But then that's about, do you buy now and hold? 54,000. Nah, not bound to hold that, guys. Ethereum, same thing. Let's go back down to, say, well, 4 hours. Let's go 4 hours. Pushed on up. You could always kind of push that a little bit and go, well, it possibly could come to there. If it were to come to there, which I'm a little bit doubtful now that it's going to do, but if it were to come to there, then that would certainly be a place to think about buying it. Here, no, not for me. Oil's come off overnight. There's major problems around the world because of energy problems. As we mentioned, Putin there with natural gas for Europe. Whether OPEC will do anything to bring this down or not, I don't know. Listen, the trend's still up. Maybe it drops a bit like that and then it goes. I don't trade oil, guys. It's too expensive to trade. Eurocad is continuing to drop. As we said it would. But yet again, for me, the place to get involved in this would have been up here somewhere, guys. Because it's pretty well developed now. Oh, what's going on? Why is this? Yeah, there we go. It's pretty well developed now, guys. Potentially any push up, then it could be a trade down. But when something's that well developed, I don't trade it, guys. Too far gone. You want to get in at the start or near the start. In Euro-Oz, same thing. We were looking for it to break out. It has broken out. Look at the structure of it. You're going to get days where it pulls back and then it drops and pulls back and drops, guys. Until something happens with the euro and the dollar starts dropping, the euro starts going up, then that trend will change. Euro New Zealand, not so much because of the weakening of the New Zealand the other day. There it is. Saw that in the opposite direction against the dollar. Didn't we? Let's just check. Yeah, the opposite direction. There's that same structure there, guys. Euro New Zealand. Yeah, just leave that alone. What we said when it did that was it could push up a little bit, then drop, and then if it came back to there, that would be the place to try and trade it along. Euro Yen. How was that move yesterday that we weren't sure about? Why I wasn't sure about why it had happened. Just leave that for now. Euro Swiss. This is possibly going to continue to drop. Euro Pound Cad. Don't see a lot of positivity in the UK at the minute, guys, other than the Bank of England saying they may have to increase interest rates. But with the oil price where it is, things looking a bit gloomy in the UK. Wouldn't be surprised if we got another leg down there. Maybe this hangs around for a little while before it goes. Pound Oz, a little bit of a response there, but possible head and shoulders. Not that we trade it, but would not be surprised if it at least comes to there and maybe even goes further. Pound New Zealand, nothing much to say about that. Pound Swiss, I traded this short the other day, guys. Not sure what that little flash there is about. I'm sure glad it came back down again. Now, when you see a structure like that, it is, of course, entirely possible that it takes another leg up before it goes, guys. So don't be panicking if it does that, but I think the trend with this is going to be short. And the euro pound, I don't tend to trade this, but if you look at how it's been moving, surely the next move's like that. There's that same little flash there, guys. Pound yen, same flash. So it's something that's happened on the pound. And yet again, it's running flat at the minute. So either decide to trade it short to there or allow it to get to there and decide to trade it up. Don't trade it there in the middle. Although having said that, is there a possibility of a drop to there? Because it's the yen, no, I wouldn't do it. Let's have a look at the Swiss. That'd probably be a better bet, which is the one I've taken, obviously. Where were we? Aussie Yen. Flat. Aussie New Zealand. Now, we talked a lot about this the other day, guys, and the fact that the New Zealand continued to strengthen through here. And then they had their interest rate decision, and since it's moved that. So that was the prediction of the interest rate decision. That was the reality whenever it happened, or this whole thing is probably what they're saying, right, it's going to happen. It's already priced in. What's next? Well, what's next is that the Australian government, or they're not government, Reserve Bank are talking about starting to taper and potentially increasing interest rates. So that's where the market's looking next. So I think this will continue to go along. It won't necessarily go in a straight line, guys. It could bounce around all over the place, but I think the trend is up. Aussie Swiss, if you get the trend right and then your trading strategy, guys, you should be okay. Aussie Swiss, not sure about that, guys. Look at that structure, not sure. Potentially there's a leg to come down there, but it could look like that, which would be really tough to trade, so I wouldn't trade it. Aussie Cad, I don't trade that. At the moment anyway, guys. There will come a time when there is a differentiation that I know of between them fundamentally, but they're both commodity-based currencies, so I find it difficult to know the difference without doing a lot of in-depth analysis, guys, which when you're doing 50 of these a day, I don't have the time for it, because I've also got, by the way, I've also got all these stocks to keep an eye on. So, yeah. So every now and again, there'll be something that I just don't know about. Swiss yen. Yeah, looking for that to go long. So a lot of people were trading that short, guys. Which is one of the things I want to say to you about the likes of eToro. On eToro, when you go to trade something like a currency, over here it will tell you, you know, one half will be red and the other green, how many people are currently buying it, how many people are currently selling it. Sentiment, guys, forget about it. Forget about it. Because if you try and trade with that, you'll lose your money, guys. Don't look at that. Don't even look at it when you're going to put a trade on. Decide over here what you're going to do and then go over there and buy it, guys, or sell it, or whatever it is you've decided to do. Swiss yen, it's come into here. It's banging on the door here. It will eventually break through, I believe. As we indicated the other day, you could see a drop down into here before it goes. And that's when it was there, guys. Do you remember when we come up there, it was a little double top? I drew that. Let me clear this up a little bit. I know what I'm drawing here, guys, and what I have drawn because I've been doing this for years. For anyone that's new, you're just going to have to stick with it. And then if you don't understand Elliott, I'm putting a little training course out there for free, and there'll be an updated version that'll be on Patreon once it's recorded, guys. And then it'll make what I'm doing here more understandable. When we got into there, I drew that. Do you remember the little thing that was there before I deleted it? Saying that from there you could get a pullback and then off it goes. Well, we got the pullback, but it came in a straight line, guys. And then prices moved back up to there again. This could be the one that pushes out. Or it could decide it's going to run flat for a while. So the place to buy it's down there. So that when it gets to there, you've got your stop loss at zero. If it comes down again and you're trying to trade it up through there, now there are people who would take that and would say, well, that'll do me. That's 5% or 10% or whatever it is. That's all I'm looking for. But if you're trying to continue to trade it up through there, then get your stop to zero, guys. And if it comes down, don't fret. Don't stress about it. Just open your trade again. Unless there's some big fundamental reason that's changed that you think, oh, this is going off, then you're being protected. And that's the reason for having your stop loss to zero. Because if you don't put it there and you're wrong and it starts doing that, then you're in trouble, guys. Get your stop losses to zero, and then you'll protect your capital. If you protect your capital, you'll stay in the game long enough to either get lucky or to get more experience. CAD Swiss. I got out of this the other day. I was in it. It hung around back and forward, and I just said, you know what, I'd prefer to see this coming off a little bit and then get into it down here. And I didn't want to ride through that. Can it push on up from here? Certainly it can. It could continue to do that. But just the way it come up, and it starts to curve like that, often you'll get it coming down, and then it'll go. CAD Yen. It's also come up against a little bit of a buffer, a little bit of barrier. So yet again, when it was here, we said if it comes down to there, it's kind of in line with there, then we'd look to get into it. It's dropped, came back up. It'll probably continue to go up. I'm just not sure about that being the place to get involved in it. New Zealand Yen. I was looking for this to go long, guys, and then we got that reaction to the interest rate decision. So until that plays out a little bit, I'm a little bit less sure about the New Zealand dollar, guys. I suspect it will go long, so I'll leave the alarm there, but I'm not going to call it at the minute. New Zealand Cad. Yet again, that's the continued strength of the CAD. It will get to a point where it's, where it's low enough for people to start to call it long. Is this the point? Well, quite possibly, but I'm going to need to see it starting to go long before I would get involved in it, guys. Maybe we put that in there. It's too far advanced for me to try and trade it short, and therefore you're probably looking for a reaction off this. It's come down into this level. Not that I trade levels. If you traded levels, you would certainly try and trade. You would certainly try and trade it long there. But I trade, don't trade levels. I trade fundamentals, and use Elliott to decide where to get involved. New Zealand Swiss. Same thing, guys, because of the negative reaction to the interest rate decision. I'm going to just wait a little while and see what happens with that. You could see a big move to safety sometime soon if these energy prices continue to stay high and stocks become a little bit too risky for people. Money comes off the table, then you'll see the Swiss strengthening up, guys. But let's just wait and see. Okay, that'll do it for today, guys. Speak to you all again tomorrow. Bye for now.